Hello. Welcome back to Snugglewood, young Dreamlynx. My name is Aaron. Snuggle down into your coziest quilt and let tonight's calming tale and soothing sounds relieve you of any worries and guide you towards a deep, restful night's sleep under these beautiful stars above. And so our story begins in a place called Dolphin Bay and the sleepy giant tale of ocean's rhythm. The ocean's rhythm breathes through the delights of a tranquil sea, where the tides rise and fall with a grace that feels timeless. Each wave is marked by a deep, slow pulse that radiates an endless rhythm, as if the ocean were breathing deeply in its serene slumber. The surface glistens in transient patterns that ripple through the rolling waters with an ebb and flow as steady as the heartbeat of the earth. Underneath, these waves tell stories that stretch across millennia, carried in whispers through the currents. It is a realm where time seems immaterial, and the only constant is the rhythm of the tides. Below the waters, the ocean's depths hold countless mysteries. Here, coral gardens stretch like vast underwater meadows. Each reef, with its fan-like shapes and intricate hollows, is home to countless lives, each moving in accordance with the ocean's timeless tempo. Fish dart and glide, their movements creating a synchronized dance that mirrors the flow of the surrounding waters. Between the swaying corals, hidden tunnels weave their way into endless possibilities, hushing the pathways visited only by elusive creatures of the deep. Every crevice and shadow carries the weight of untold stories, suspended within the silence of this world beneath the waves. The light from above trickles down, dimming as it reaches deeper realms, where sprawling plains of undisturbed sands stretch endlessly. These shadowed depths are the quiet counterparts to the surface's constant motion. Below even these plains lies the abyss, where little light can penetrate, yet the rhythm of the ocean persists in a different form, slower, heavier, and deeply majestic. Resting in the heart of the ocean's rhythm is a vast, slumbering entity, an ancient being that has weathered the passage of countless ages. It rests undisturbed within a sunken valley, its form immense and still. The ocean, in its infinite swells and recessions, seems tied to its slumber, like an eternal companion, cradling the sentinel with its liquid arms. Around this entity, the waters carry an almost imperceptible shift in their currents, as though honouring the sleeping presence. Thick blankets of algae trace its form, and small sea creatures reside in the cragged surfaces of what appears as part of the ocean floor. It is indistinguishable from the world it inhabits, seamlessly entwined with the sea itself. The surrounding ecosystem rises and falls in harmony. Shoals of fish pass above, their movements tracing undefined yet perfect arcs, as hypnotic as the ocean's rhythms. Large seaweed forests in surrounding crevices sway with an eternal grace, creating a motion that never ceases but never hastens, an illustrative hub of patience. Bubbles drifting upwards from sources far below, captured beams of light tracing their ascent before they join the world above. Every tiny stirring mirrored the vast, eternal rhythm shared across the ocean. On the ocean's surface, the transition from day to night paints the waters in colours only nature could conjure. The dazzling bursts of sunrise soften into long golden tones before being overtaken by the deep indigo tones of twilight. Moonlight scatters across the waves, creating an endless dance of light and shadow. Amid this serenity, the distant calls of seabirds fade with the night, leaving only the rhythmic swells of the waves to carry through the still air. The story of the ocean continues uninterrupted, steady and unfaltering, each moment blending seamlessly into the next as time stretches infinitely away. Miles beneath the waves, the rhythm of the deep sustains its eternal boundlessness. The slumbering being, with its movements by time and tide, remains undisturbed. Its essence woven into the ocean's eternal presence. The tales of the sleepy giant are not of words, but are carried through life, water, and the subtle dance of energy that courses through this world. Its deep breaths calm, its reach inspires awe, and its stillness offers a peace that transcends Dreamlynx understanding. Endlessly, the timeless rhythm continues. Tales and myths may swirl around it, but the ocean ultimately simply is. A constant poem in motion and rest. It is a cradle of life, a sanctuary for mysteries, and a melody carried on forever. Always present, always vast, it holds its depth and movement with a grace unaltered by time. A place where the lull of endless waters finds peace within yourself, drawing a quiet rhythm into the heart of all who listen. The ocean's heartbeat lulls the world beneath the starlit sky. Its waves roll ceaselessly, each one a soft reminder of timelessness. An unbroken link between past, present, and future. Beneath that vast, dark scenery, countless stories lie hidden, some whispered in currents, others etched in the sand. Creatures take their place in this unending dance, their movements synchronized with the water's ebb and flow. From the smallest plankton, drifting gently with the tide, to the immense shadows of whales gliding through its vast depths. All a part of an intricate, eternal rhythm. The surface glimmers under moonlight, its dynamic swells rising and falling with the ease of a deep, ancient breath. The world above and the secrets below seem to exist in harmony, a quiet understanding between the elements. Over time, the ocean's song soothes even the restless winds, their playful whispers gradually softening as they skim across the water's surface. A thankful calm settles across the horizon, untouched by urgency or haste. Far below, where light barely reaches, another realm stirs. The quiet pressure of the deep moves endlessly, a slow, purposeful current that winds through the underwater canyons and silken sand plains. Its silence is heavy, yet comforting, surrounding life in protective stillness. Delicate starfish cling to rock faces, while anemones drift lazily in time with minute tremblings of their world. Even further, at depths that feel infinite, other forms of life stir within the shadows. They are solitary beings, moving like wandering dreams. Blind crustaceans trace paths long forgotten by others, and bioluminescent creatures blink like constellations scattered through the darkness. This is a part of the ocean so deeply in tune into mystery that it feels untouched by any world above. Here, time stretches indefinitely, marked only by the flow of currents and the subtle movement among ancient sands. Back above, the tides never falter in their rhythmic rise and fall. They carry with them fragments of the vast ocean's story. Seashells polished smooth as glass, messages written in patterns of driftwood, and sands sculpted by countless cycles of the waves. As though painting a new picture with each rise and retreat, the tides reshape their canvas day by day, leaving trails of their handiwork along the shore. There, a soft boundary between ocean and land is drawn and erased, time and again in an endless symphony of motion. The interplay between air and sea creates a hypnotic dance, as breezes softly ruffle the crests of waves and salt sprays mingle with the cooler currents of the atmosphere. Clouds form and dissolve miles above, drifting as lazily as the ocean swells below. They mirror the fluidity of the water, their shapes shifting constantly, and their own journeys carried by hidden forces. Like the waves, they are transient yet infinite, fleeting but eternal, reflections of the same boundless cycle. Far out to sea, the horizon blurs into an unbroken edge, stretching endlessly like a border between two unknowable realms. Here, the ocean appears larger, grander, confined by the proximity of land. its wide breadth feels vibrant, as if it holds a vitality older than time itself. The waters glisten with hints of spectral colours, deepening and darkening as they span outward until they are swallowed by the horizon's distant line. The vastness stirs a quiet awe, a reminder of how small and fleeting each wave is, compared to the entirety of the sea. Hours pass unnoticed in the perpetual dance of motion and stillness. The sun arcs across the sky, casting golden light that transforms the hues of the water from cool indigos to warm azure and emerald. Shadows grow sharper, then softer, as the day matures and makes its slow descent. Twilight creeps in, painting the skies in dusky purples and fiery oranges, tinting the ocean in shades that are impossible to describe fully. Yet, as day eventually surrenders its hold, the ocean remains unchanged, its constancy unshaken by the cycles of light and darkness. Nightfall drapes its soft cover over the waters, and the constellations above seem to blink down like silent watchers of the eternal sea. The pull of the tides continues unabated, the water illuminated softly by the silvery touch of moonlight. Each crest sparkles like 1,000 tiny stars, flickering in and out of existence with every shifting wave. The vast orchestra of the night sea grows quieter, as if the ocean itself is listening to the stars, listening to the sky hum with its celestial rhythms. Beneath the rocking peaks of these nocturnal waters, the world softens further into a tranquil equilibrium. Beings drift through the soft glow of the lunar-touched waves, their movements slower under the cover of darkness. The interplay of shadow and fleeting luminescence creates an underwater ballet, where life moves as softly as the ocean's sigh. All is connected in this deep cosmic stillness, a place where the rhythms of the universe seem to collide with the same unified persistence as the waves brushing against the endless shores. The ocean is timeless, infinite in both scope and variety, yet its rhythm remains tied to the heartbeat of the earth. Each droplet of water, whether crashing in a thunderous wave or rising faintly through evaporation, plays its part in this ancient cycle. It carries with it the memories of old, a silent history preserved in the salt of its swells and the cool depths of its shadows. And through it all, the ocean flows on, as unyielding as it is soothing, existing beyond comprehension, yet tied to the pulse of all living things that dwell alongside it. The ocean stretches boundlessly, its panorama converging with the distant horizon, where the sky leans down to touch its surface. Here, time seems to exist differently, measured not in minutes or hours, but in the sweep of tides and the whispers of currents. Its surface contours under a timeless memory. The delicate balance of moon and water weaving a story older than the shores they caress. Each tide is both an ending and a beginning, carrying the secrets of the deep while surrendering its treasures to the sands above. Back in the deep below, where sunlight no longer ventures, another world thrives in quiet resilience. Beams of stunning light flicker like stars in the inky black, emanating from creatures that have adapted to thrive in the eternal night. It is a hidden domain of shadows and shapes, where towering mountains of coral stretch upward, their skeletal beauty crafted over countless years. It is here, in this watery abyss, that the heartbeat of the ocean is most grand. A powerful yet understated force that ensures the endless push and pull of its eternal dance. The ocean silhouetted against stillness, yet alive with untold energy beneath. Above, the waves rise and fall, carrying within their folds the breath of distant winds and the warmth of places they have travelled too far to name. Their foam-tipped crests form fleeting signs on its surface, as if the waves themselves are yearning to communicate in a language as mutable as the water. These whispers find their way to rocky shores and sandy beaches, filling tide pools with stolen wonders. Shell fragments, smoothed by time and salt, driftwood, polished to perfection, and seaweed, tangled in intricate natural artistry, all bearing witness to a voyage untold. Farther out of the open sea, creatures of immense grace carve their paths through the seemingly boundless blue. A pod of whales travels in unison, their presence felt even before it is seen. Above the water, their spouted breaths erupt into the open air, a reminder of the interconnection between this watery world and the sky beyond. These darlings of the ocean are more than mere inhabitants. They seem part of the ocean itself, embodying its mystery, its wisdom, its power unmeasured by words or science. Their songs, carried through miles of water, echo with longing joy, and a narrative only they fully understand. The great currents continue their tireless course, endlessly redistributing the ocean's essence. They carry whispers of the Arctic's icy kiss to the equatorial bath of warmth, stitching together two opposing ends of the globe. Along these networks, life teems in abundance. Schools of fish swirl in liquid choreography, guided not by sight, but by the harmony of movement, each beat dictated by instinct. At dawn, when the first slivers of light strike the water, the ocean becomes an unbroken sheet of gold. The warmth of the rising sun kisses its surface, awakening life in tidal ecosystems. The shoreline hums quietly as hermit crabs skitter from one hiding place to the next, and the strange, jewel-like anemones sway with the soothing ebb of the saltwater flow. Herons glide overhead, pausing momentarily to survey the shifting sands for opportunity. These moments heralding the arrival of a new day are as fleeting as they are pristine, a delicate balance between the primal forces of earth, wind, and water. And yet, even in its tranquility, the ocean is not without its storms. They arrive carried upon the gales that whip across its surface, churning the water into furious peaks and valleys. Lightning arcs across the heavens, momentarily illuminating the chaotic waters below, while thunder reverberates through the air, a primal call to the ocean's latent fury. Ships, though built to weather such tempests, are at times rendered powerless against this raw display of nature's immutable strength. And when the storm passes, the ocean calms itself once more, a quiet reprieve masking the power that lies beneath. Each day, the ocean collects the soft fall of starlight, melding it with its never-ending energy. Under each moonlit night, the surface becomes as still and reflective as glass, holding the stars close, lending a piece of their eternal glow to the water itself. It inspires awe that something so vast and unknowable can still cradle within it so much of the cosmos above. The ocean will remain, long after footsteps fade from its shores, knowing neither the rush of minutes nor the limitations of years. Instead, it moves to the surge of its waves, to the unseen tide of the distant moons, to the dance of wind and weather. And in its depths, where shadows stretch farther than the scope of light can follow, it promises an eternal story, waiting for us to listen. A tale of life, persistence, and the unbroken rhythm of a world both apart from and intrinsically bound to our own. Under the surface, crabs scuttle across sandy beds, while sea stars cling patiently to rocks. Their movements, the faintest one could imagine. Time here always feels slower, unmatched by the rush of Dreamlynx hands. The ocean pauses for nothing and no one, its rhythm predictable yet mesmerizing. The tide's whispers of beginnings and endings are like an eternal fluid. It rolls forward, an orchestra of forces binding every grain of sand and drop of water into a harmony. Each wave, no matter how small, plays its part in the grand continuum of the sea. Far below, in the cloaked darkness of depths, the murmur of movement reveals a different kind of life. Creatures with bioluminescent brilliance emerge like lights flickering like stars brought down from the heavens. The stories here are older, the voices softer, but no less true. They tell of resilience, survival, and the quiet magic hidden within the folds of the deep. Above it all, the surface ripples gently, as if echoing the secrets held below. It bathes in the world's reflections, offering a glimpse into the balance it sustains. The ocean, they say, remembers everything. And if you listen long enough, you can feel the rhythm of its soul. And so, as the waves continue their eternal dance, and the whispers of the ocean lull the world to rest, you find yourself drifting peacefully into the depths of your own dreams. Here, time slows once more, reminding you that in this moment you are held safely and all is well.